Sony Pictures releases the hotly contested film The Interview, starring comedian Seth Rogen and James Flacco, according to President Barack Obama, conveniently on Christmas Eve, as we suggested they would days and days ago. You heard it here first on AMTV, on alternative media television, as a result of a U.S. covert intelligence operation. Again, it's far more likely that Sony Pictures, Sony Corporation, and the President of the United States, his administration, and the Orwellian spy grid that makes up the National Spying Agency, the NSA, are far more likely to be behind this criminal act, this attack, this false flag event than North Korea and the evildoer that makes up Kim Jong-un. Of course, this was depicted hilariously in another movie post-September 11th titled Team America, F yeah. And now Sony, as we said they would, stands to profit in the tens and tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, with the planned distribution of their film. Again, not having to allocate millions, tens of millions of dollars to advertise a loud president of the United States and CNN, the worthless, baseless, mainstream bullshit propaganda machine, do that for them, and are now releasing the film at $4.99. That's right, $4.99 to rent it, or I think $15.99 in that ballpark to buy the film, not just on YouTube, which you're tuning into right now. Netflix is on board, and also a very special website conveniently created by Sony to distribute the film. Also to be released in select theaters, mostly independent venues throughout the country. Again, this has always been the game plan, folks. This was the viral marketing scam, bang-up job that just was, honestly, a huge success. And I have to congratulate Sony for once again duping the American dumb shits, as Sony and private corporations historically do, and the federal government has done for years. Again, this is kind of the definition of cognitive dissonance, where you're presented with two opposing worldviews that conflict with your view of the world. George Orwell talked about this in his book 1984. Kind of like September 11th, where the official narrative was sold to the American people, the Durka terrorists holding little box cutters brought down two planes and flew them into the World Trade Center. Even though Building 7 collapsed on its own, and if you actually watch the footage, as any normal, regular John and Jane in America would say, yeah, that does look like a demolition. The way it would just perfectly crash and crumble to the ground, and looks like it just blew up internally without even a plane running into it. But again, we'll still buy off on the official bullshit narrative that was 9/11, and that, George W. Bush, when he wasn't lying about weapons of mass destruction, which we now know was false, as a reason to invade and launch ground wars in places like in Iraq and Afghanistan, was selling lies about 9/11 to pass things that they already had in place before September 11th, like the U.S. Patriot Act. And again, this is what the whole Sony picture hack scam job has been about since the beginning, passing another bill. So the president could use this as a smokescreen and a smoke and mirrors campaign to move forward and pass more internet censorship. In his own words, to better intertwine and regulate both the public and private sector, God forbid some crazy lunatic hackers overseas like the Kim Jong-un government might hack your private corporation, or maybe even your computer at your house. Again, all of this justifies the illegal and criminal acts, the activity being committed by the U.S. federal government and intelligence agencies here at home. And again, this was the plan from the get-go, folks. Sony to profit tens of millions, maybe hundreds of millions of dollars, and the U.S. federal government to pass a bill, likely when you return back from the holiday break. This is, of course, what SOPA has all been about, and there's a reason that the president wants to clamp down on the internet. And there was a reason to stage this attack. Again, this is the playbook of the NWO. This is the playbook of the Obama administration. This is the playbook of Hollywood, which is tightly wound and intertwined with the U.S. federal government. Entertainment moves the masses. People like George Clooney that I reported on, very likely insiders working for the CIA on behalf of the CIA. His wife, Amal, who works on the behalf of U.S. intelligence, represents people like Julian Assange, who many believe is also linked to U.S. intelligence. All of this a part of the scam job that makes up America today. And this was the engineered plan from the get-go, folks. Sony releasing The Interview conveniently, select theaters nationwide, certain venues, YouTube and Netflix, and also a special website, and probably soon to be released on Apple in a couple of days once they strike a deal. This will be the greatest success, more than likely, the greatest viral marketing campaign, again, that anyone has ever seen in entertainment history. And it's all because the American people are easy to manipulate. They're very easy to sell lies to. They're very easy to move. It's easy to move the cows. Tell them and repeat the same thing long enough and they'll believe any kind of shit you sell them. I'm Christopher Greene. Get it out everywhere, make it viral, hard-hitting it in your face, and click the link below to support our sponsor.